Imagine committing a major crime and then just completely vanishing into thin air. You build a whole new life, change your name, and for 25 long years you manage to stay entirely off the grid. You literally become a ghost. Well, that is exactly what a fugitive named Samuel did. But here's the wild thing we're exploring in today's Explainer. No matter how well a ghost hides, modern artificial intelligence and a single, simple digital footprint can bring a massive, quarter-century-old cold case right back to life. Today we're unpacking a fascinating true crime story from Agra, where technology finally outsmarted a decades-long evasion.
Okay, let's dive into this. Think about the reality of policing back in 2002. If someone went on the run, investigators usually had nothing more than a single, outdated, and honestly pretty blurry photograph. It was a total analog dead end. But fast forward to 2026, and we're looking at a sleek, high-tech digital dragnet. That old photograph? It's no longer a dead end. It's the starting point for an AI-generated age-progressed profile. We've moved from just hoping an officer happens to recognize a face on the street to using advanced algorithms that predict exactly how a fugitive is going to age.
So that brings us to the absolute core question of this explainer. How do you catch a ghost who's been hiding for 25 years? Remember, this wasn't someone who just, moved to the next town over. According to police reports, Samuel constantly changed his identity, his name, and his location to dodge capture for a quarter of a century. He was incredibly motivated to stay hidden, living a totally new life in Delhi under a completely false identity. So, how exactly does an investigation penetrate 25 years of carefully constructed lies?
Section 1. The 2002 Agra loot.
To really understand the end of this chase, we've got to go back to where it all began. The story kicks off on November 8, 2002 in the Lahamandi area of Agra. A major robbery goes down involving 3 perpetrators. Now, the initial police response is actually super swift. Shortly after the crime, 2 of the accomplices are tracked down and arrested. But the third man, Samuel, he just slips right through the cracks. From 2002 onwards, he completely vanishes. Even though police had his partners in custody, Samuel managed to cut all ties and just disappear into the massive population of India. So the crucial point here is the sheer stakes of this crime back then. The amount looted in 2002 was 1.75 lakh rupees. And because Samuel managed to escape while his co-conspirators were caught, the police placed a pretty significant bounty of 50,000 rupees on his head. For years, investigators hunted for him, really hoping someone would claim that reward. But they found absolutely nothing. 0 leads, no sightings, just a totally cold trail and a wanted poster gathering dust.
Section 2. The AI facial recognition breakthrough.
But, time marches on. And while Samuel was busy hiding in the past, police technology was rushing straight into the future. For over 2 decades, the police were basically staring into an investigative black box. Like we mentioned, they had absolutely nothing but that one 25-year-old photograph. And in a country as vast as India, looking for one man based on a decades-old picture is way worse than finding a needle in a haystack. It's practically impossible. The case felt entirely unsolvable. That is, until artificial intelligence entered the chat. The police realized, hey, we can't travel back in time to catch him, but we can use AI to bring his 2002 face right into the year 2026. Here is exactly how the Agra police pulled off this breakthrough. Step 1. Investigators take that single 25-year-old photo and put it into specialized AI software. Step 2. The AI gets to work. It analyzes his facial structure and generates multiple age-progressed variants. It's basically predicting what Samuel might look like today with wrinkles, different hairstyles, maybe some weight changes. Then, step 3. This is where the magic really happens. The police took these newly generated AI images and started scanning them across massive social media platforms, hunting for a facial match. And against all odds, the AI actually found a picture online that strongly matched their predictions.
Section 3. The Delhi traffic challan.
Now, finding a photo online is an incredible breakthrough, for sure. But a photo on a screen isn't a pair of handcuffs. You still have to track down the physical person. And this brings us to a really fascinating climax, where the high-tech wizardry of AI collides with the incredibly mundane reality of everyday life. Once the police matched that AI-generated face to a potential social media profile, they didn't stop there. They launched a deep dive into the linked digital activities surrounding that account. And this digital forensic work led them straight to a startling discovery. They found a car registered in Delhi. But it wasn't registered to Samuel. It was actually in his wife's name. So, how did they trace the exact location of this car? Through a traffic challan. Literally a simple traffic ticket linked to that specific vehicle. And this brilliantly illustrates a fundamental truth about our modern world. Samuel spent 25 years constantly looking over his shoulder, changing his name, hiding from the cops. But in the digital age, you really can't just hide in the shadows forever. Every mundane action you take, like running a red light, parking in the wrong spot, or registering a vehicle, it all leaves a traceable footprint. A simple traffic challenge in Delhi turned out to be the mundane digital breadcrumb that brought his entire 25-year house of cards crashing down.
Section 4. The Final Arrest.
Let's move to and see how this builds to the final conclusion. With a solid location finally in hand, the high-speed digital search transitioned right back into classic, methodical, boots-on-the-ground police work. First, the police took that traffic challenge address and deployed a team straight to Delhi. Now, they didn't just kick the front door down right away. They showed incredible patience. They conducted roughly 1 full month of continuous physical surveillance. They watched the address, tracked the movements, and confirmed, beyond a doubt, that the man living there was indeed their 25-year-old ghost. Finally, on June 1, 2026, in the Nangloi area of Delhi, the trap was sprung, and Samuel was arrested.
Samuel had survived for so long by constantly changing his identity, his name, and his hideouts. He really thought he'd beaten the system. He thought the 2002 Agra loot was just completely forgotten history. But as DCP Sidio Ali Abbas noted, AI ended his 25-year journey as a fugitive. Technology bridged a massive gap of a quarter-century that human detectives alone simply couldn't cross. It provided a deeply satisfying close to a case that had literally sat cold in the files for decades. Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder. We just walked through how a blurry 25-year-old photograph, combined with AI and a random traffic ticket, brought a master evader to justice. The tools law enforcement has access to today are evolving at an unprecedented rate. So I'll leave you with this. If a 25-year-old photo can solve a cold case today, what will AI uncover tomorrow? Seriously, think about the implications of that as our digital footprints become even more ingrained in our daily lives. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time as we break down another fascinating topic.